Australia. Today on King Around the World, we'll be learning how to make candles. Candles.
And I'm here to teach you how to make candles. So first step is what you need to make candles. So we're going to start with our jar, what type of jar that you want to use. Try and use a jar with some thick glass. And remember that the more open that the jar is, the faster that the wax will actually melt because it's getting a lot of oxygen. Then we have our wicks. Today we're using all Australian candle making supplies, and we are using their wicks and tabs. They're already assembled. It's the hashtag 18, so this will burn to a width of 7.5. You will need some chopsticks, and this will help us hold the wick in place. You will need some glue sticks. Glue sticks for your glue gun to glue down your wick. And we are using Australian floral and honey scent today, and this is from Aroma. I was about to say Aurora. Aroma. You'll need a calculator. You'll need a few measuring cups. So we need one of milliliters, matters how much you're going to use. So this is I think 30 milliliter little cup. You're going to have a weights to weigh your wax and a measuring jar of milliliters to liters. Then to melt our wax in, we're going to use this pot. And we're going to do it in a double boiler. So we use another big pot filled with water, and we put our pot full of wax inside there to melt. We also have one more important, very special ingredient, and this is our magic ingredient, and this is our unicorn that creates transformation, love, kindness, and growth. Oh, and we're going to need our wax. One of the most important things that you need for making candles is wax. And today we're using golden wax, which is a soy wax. It's a natural base wax, and it is a 464 numbered wax. You bring it here so you can see it. So this is what the wax looks like. It's little flakes of wax. So now that we have all our tools to get started with making a candle, we're going to fill our jar up with water to see how much wax we're going to need. So we fill our jar up to the level that we want our wax to reach, and we're going to pour that water into our measuring jar. So this is 300 milliliters. So we're going to go to our calculator and we're going to type in 300 times 0.72. So that's come up with 216. So that means 216 grams is what we're going to need of wax to have 300 milliliters to reach that same level. Now I have to dry off our jar so that it is got no more water inside. It's nice and dry. It allows the glue to be able to stick better when we stick our wick on. So we're going to start to weigh our wax now. So we're going to turn on our weights. Should come up with 0. So I'm going to take that off and it should have minus 217. Perfect. So I'm just going to get a whole bunch of wax. 215, 216. It's okay if you go slightly over or just slightly under. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but you do want to try and be quite spot on. Okay, so now that we have this, we're going to put it into our melting pot. So we're going to get our melting pot and just put it straight in. Perfect. And we put our melting pot onto the stove. Now I put it up to the highest, so at 11, so it starts the water to start boiling. You also will need a thermometer, but I've been doing this for so long that I don't actually own a thermometer anymore. I don't know where it is, but I do know when it's meant to start to finish. This wax in particular, its melting point is 45 Celsius to 48 Celsius. Its pouring temperature is about 55 Celsius to 70 Celsius. So if you have a temperature gauge, you want to try and keep it around that. So normally you'd place a spoon or something at the bottom so that the two metals aren't touching, but this is floating, so it's not a problem. So we're going to attach our wick now while we're waiting for the wax to melt. You do want to keep an eye on it and the temperature that it's at, but we are just going to quickly do this now. So we're going to take our glue stick and place it into our glue gun. Plug in the glue gun. We're going to take out our wick, straighten it out so it's nice and straight, and just let our glue gun start to melt. We're going to take one of our chopsticks, get that ready. Okay, so we're going to take our glue and just do a blob of glue on the bottom. You don't want it too much glue, because otherwise it gets a bit bulgy. And you're going to try and place it directly in the center. Be careful because the glue is hot. I'm really lucky because I have cut glass and it's like perfectly in the center. Perfect. And then we're going to take our chopsticks. There you go. You want to make sure that's perfectly aligned so that it's perfectly straight on all angles. Sometimes I bend just to make it perfectly straight. Take out any little extra strings of glue. Okay, so we're going to put the scent in now. The maximum scent that you can use for this wax is 12% of whatever your milliliters are. So we had 300 milliliters, so we're going to use 30%. This currently still has its little lid on, so we just have to break it open. Ooh. It smells amazing. Okay, so I've got my 30 milliliters here. We're going to go by the amount of milliliters of the 10%, so I'm going to just do 10%. Pour in my scent. So we're almost completely melted. We've still got about half of it left, so we're going to pour in our scent at this point. It doesn't always matter if it's at the very beginning or at the very end. I actually used to, as soon as I put the wax in, I'd pour the scent on top and it would still come out perfectly fine. And just stir that in. Remember to keep checking the temperature. So wait until the wax is completely melted. So that is all completely melted, and we're going to pour it into our jar. So just try and do it super slowly. And once again, if you need to, because sometimes the wick gets a bit soggy from the hot wax, just realign the wicks to make sure that it is perfectly centered. It just matters on how much wax that you have put in, on how long it will take to start to go hard. So just leave it, make sure no one's going to touch it for at least half an hour. Sometimes it goes a little bit faster than that. It matters what the temperature is. I know on a really, really hot day it actually can create some deformities on the top because it's so hot outside or inside the room. But yeah, so just sit back, enjoy and watch. Okay, so now that our candle has completely hardened, it's still a little bit warm. I would suggest to wait until it's completely cold, but we're just going to take off very carefully, take off our chopsticks. And you should have a wick cutter. It actually cuts the wick and it makes it a lot easier for you, but I'm just going to use scissors because I don't actually know where mine are. So you can use scissors, and you just want to try and, because you don't want to move it around too much, so we're just going to chop that off, make it all nice. And there you go, that is a candle that you can now use, and it smells amazing. It's very strong. 10% is quite a lot. You can use 12, it makes it stronger. Most people actually buy a candle because of the scent of it. So soy wax is fabulous for scent, and it smells amazing. You can put it in a room and it'll make the whole room smell. So I hope you enjoyed. If you like, please like, subscribe and comment below for any suggestions. Is it recording this time? Okay. Hello. I like nice walks in the park. I like to ride horses.